how's your happiness? Would you say you're happy?
Overall?
Yeah, I'm doing good now. For sure. I mean, that's a whole nother conversation to get into, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty happy. It's a lot of work. I think as we grow as people, a lot of things change and a lot of things happen. You become aware of things that you might have to do some work on. But yeah, right now in this moment, I'm definitely happy. But I'm doing a lot of work to be there, which is pretty cool. So
Good for you, man. What kind of work?
yeah,
And let's go into that whole other conversation.
I don't know, man. Just a lot of things with just learning about yourself and then like getting like mental health things and then maybe getting professional help and stuff. Like I've reached out and this is like kind of the first time I've been in therapy trying to deal with some pretty serious things. So
Nice.
yeah,
Good
I
for you.
just that yeah, because it's like I look at my head now as the same as my body.
Yeah.
And it was like just time to finally just like dive into some stuff and really try to organize what's going on in my head instead of like just letting it kind of run off. So
Right. Yeah. You
I
can
mean
let it
that
just go on autopilot and then you find like, what the fuck? Why am I miserable? And you're not like thinking about what you're going through or what your brain's doing. Go on the
I mean, yeah, it's pretty. I think what, especially like, let's say the example of a professional BMX rider or a professional action sports person in general, we go through some pretty crazy amounts of dopamine, like spikes to
Yep.
like just pure downfalls of like nothing. So, like, for example, injuries, and then usually injuries isolate you from your friends and stuff like that. So it's like a lot of peaks and valleys
Yeah.
and a lot of, I want to say normal people, but simple people that live lives a little simpler don't deal with that.
Right.
So I think because of that, it causes a lot of could be chaos in your head. So it's
Mm-hmm.
a lot of things that it might be something that need to be organized a little bit and you might need like professional help to figure out. So so
What's a
yeah, that's just like
what's like a tool or something, maybe a practice that you learned in therapy so far for somebody who's, because I agree, the dopamine spikes, and then like if the more you spike your dopamine, the lower your baseline dopamine is, and it kind of it's yeah, it's a wild pattern to go on, whether it's through extreme sports and adrenaline or through drugs or through other aspects of life, like just I can't think of another example, but what's if I'm in a low point, how would you coach somebody through it just generally? Some advice that's like, not specific but, safe, good advice for somebody who's, going through a hard time or at the bottom of a valley.
I mean, so my perspective, I say that a lot, but that is like literally the only thing I could say is just I've been really trying to own in on just understanding where you're at in each moment so that kind of just understanding why you're there and being okay with it and not like trying to overwork it, which is fucking so hard to deal with. But just like kind of owning in on why you're thinking this way and why maybe it's like that. And then that's like kind of the one thing that I've learned to practice, which is hard though, because like if you get into a moment, sometimes you can't even realize what's going on.
Right.
So
Yeah. So
like
being
I'm also
mindful.
yeah, I guess so. Like I'm very fresh into this and I'm working on myself. So there's a lot of things that I'm learning right now that I can't even like, I haven't put into play yet.
Right.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Good for you, man. I'm happy you're
But
doing therapy to make yourself better. That's fucking dope. I need to do the
yeah.
same, or I should do the same.
Yeah, it's a pretty weird it's hard to get used to, but no, there's a lot of people I've spoke to have recommended it. So here we are trying to work on every aspect of my body right now instead of just neglecting it.
What was it like your first time going to therapy? Are you going like in person or are you doing telecom type shit?
I'm going in person, but I don't know. I'm not really going to talk about that.
Well, I mean, how did it
That's like,
feel? Like just walking into
well,
the
I
building,
mean,
like, oh fuck, 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 what is this? What am I doing?
I don't know. That's just that's for me. That's mine. It's a lot of things. And it's a lot of things that I could say that people won't understand because of like they don't know what I've been through. And I
Yeah,
don't know what a lot of other people have been through. I mean,
of
it
course.
was
Yeah.
actually it was cool to finally do it and finally like have someone and walk in the door. Like I'm so fresh to this. I don't even think can't even explain why I'm talking about it, but it's like something that needed to happen. So I don't know.
Fuck it. Good for you.
Yeah. I know there's like I keep a lot of things for myself, so that's like one of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um,
Word. I can
so
respect that. That's cool. We've reached the end of the video. Hopefully you enjoyed that clip. If you want to support me and the podcast, just subscribe and share the show with your friends. The full episode is in the description. So if you haven't, go check that out. It's also available on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and wherever you listen to podcasts. And the goal is just to grow. So if you could share the show with your BMX homies, that'd be dope. If anybody that you know that is a BMX nerd and would enjoy this podcast, do me that favor and we'll keep all these clips coming and one episode every week. So I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.